Man, here, y'all know how I get down. We talking boxing, man. You know, as we talked about yesterday, it looks as if that Eddie Hearn's plan is becoming more and more clear. We see what his ambition truly is when it's dealing with Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. And it seems as if that the ambition is to basically land that big fight on his DAZN app, right? We see that's where it's going. We see Anthony Joshua, he stalled out the Wilder negotiations all just to get, seems as if to get Anthony Joshua out of that Showtime contract. And now he's going to be putting Anthony Joshua versus Alexander Povetkin on DAZN. So now there's a new deal in the play. It looks as if that Eddie Hearn is now offering Deontay Wilder a 2 to 3 fight deal, effectively pushing out the promoter that Deontay Wilder normally uses in Lou DiBella. And that's something that I've been saying that Eddie Hearn has been wanting to do for quite some time. He has crapped on Lou DiBella, you know, gave him a bad name to the public. Oh, he doesn't move Wilder right. Oh, he doesn't do this for Wilder. He doesn't do that for Wilder. He's just a worker for Al Heyman, which in a nutshell could be technically true. You know what I mean? But the fact is, that's Wilder's guy. And it looks like that Eddie Hearn is trying to swoop in and take the same spot that Lou DiBella plays, but with the exception of those fights being aired on DAZN. He's offered Deontay Wilder, like I said, a 3-fight deal. He's saying that if Deontay Wilder goes and faces Dominic Breazeale or a mutually agreed upon opponent, that they will put up the money for that fight, which will be $5 million, a $5 million purse for Deontay Wilder. And then right behind that, he'll fight AJ for $15 million over in Wembley sometime in April. And it looks like he's providing a date. Oh, April 13th, 2019. Oh, he's providing dates and venues now. So I guess this may be more of the real deal because he's actually providing a date in a venue. This is crazy, man. Let me read a little bit of this article. Hearn even went as far to say that he would offer the Bronze Bomber a 2-fight deal worth $20 million that would see him allowed to make a defense of his WBC belt against a mutually agreed opponent or Dominic Breazeale, with the end goal of facing former Olympic champion Joshua in the first half of next year. Wilder is thought to have a deal with Breazeale for a fight later this year, and Hearn is ready to offer him a $5 million purse for that fight, or against a mutually agreed opponent, as mentioned above, with $15 million purse guaranteed for the Joshua fight. There is a rematch clause in the Joshua Wilder deal that is currently on the table, and Wilder and his team are reportedly unhappy. The rematch would take place in the United States, but only be enforceable should Wilder win the first between the heavyweights. So, once again, it looks, you know, we seen Eddie Hearn come out earlier this year alluding to the fact that he would like to promote Wilder, alluding to the fact that he wants to get this Anthony Joshua Wilder fight in-house. If Wilder then goes on and signs this multi-fight deal with Hearn, ladies and gentlemen, he basically is a Hearn. He works for Matchroom at that point. And that's a no-go. You ain't going to come here, humiliate the man, disrespect the man, offer him paltry offers, make him feel like he's less of a fighter, or try to at least, and then turn around and say, oh yeah, you know, I want to sign you. Oh, I'm trying to promote you. Oh, I'm offering you this much money. I'm offering you that much money. Sometimes it ain't about money, and Wilder has exclusively said that. He is about legacy. So your $5 million, your paltry little $15 million on $100+ million fight, you tripping. And what Eddie Hearn needs to understand is that $15 million number, if mysteriously, if this thing still works itself out, which I think Wilder just need to go about his business, but if it works itself out, that $15 million number got to come up for all of Wilder's pain and suffering, for putting him off, for putting him to the back. That $15 million should be turned into minimally $25 million at least. I'm sorry. You can call it whatever you want. It should be turned into at least 25 for all that Wilder had to go through. It should not stay at that $15 million number. This is the new deal. This is the new deal. Eddie Hearn is convinced a good enough percentage of boxing fans that they are in the right when they are clearly in the wrong in this issue. They're running around acting like this WBA mandatory is big thing when the WBA doesn't usually enforce mandatories like that. It's at their discretion. Just read their rules. They come up whenever they feel like ordering the mandatory. So if Eddie Hearn really wanted to get out of this mandatory, he could. The same way he got Anthony Joshua out of facing Luis Ortiz back in the day. You know what I mean? See, this is Eddie Hearn's strategy too. He likes to sign you and then keep you away from his guy. You know, it's the same way that Jarrell Big Baby Miller complained about. That's why he says he's not totally on board with Eddie Hearn, because he know the tricks that he pulls. It's the same thing when Luis Ortiz was in the WBA and it was time for them to enforce that. Oh, but somehow, some way, it slipped through the cracks. They threw Luis Ortiz some sort of bait. You know what I mean? Something, you know, it didn't happen. And they could have did the same situation like that here. They could have gotten Anthony Joshua out of this WBA situation if they wanted to. They wanted to face Alexander Povetkin. Make no mistake about it, ladies and gentlemen. They wanted to. Barry Hearn has said from day one, he doesn't feel as though this fight is going to happen. This should happen this year. He wants more time for a buildup. He's already issued that decree months ago. But that what made me come to my conclusion that this fight wasn't going to happen. Barry Hearn said it. We heard Eddie Hearn say this is a stadium fight, summertime fight. And here we are, April of 2019 now. They have a date. I take that back. I need to stop saying April 13th of 2019. Oh, that's when they want to do the fight. And I'm going to tell y'all something else. And I hope Wilder's third eye is wide open, because that's still a maybe in my opinion. Who knows? I don't know what they're going to have him sign. That's still a maybe. I still believe they want Tyson Fury. If they can get Tyson Fury before Deontay Wilder, they take that too. Y'all better open your eyes and see what's going on here. Project AJ is making everybody money and everybody go get paid. That's what's going on. And Eddie Hearn is offering a new deal. Here we are with the new deal. I hope Deontay Wilder takes this deal, balls it up, and wipe his ass with it and send it back to him, truth be told, because at the end of the day, look, once they face Alexander Povetkin, they are going to be back into, they're going to have either Jarrell Big Baby Miller or Dillian White to fight. That's it. That's all. They're trying to build the Dillian White fight as a rematch, as an insurance policy, if you will. They're trying to get the people to buy into it over there as an insurance policy so they can have something for Anthony Joshua to fall back on. But he's going to start running low on names, and Wilder's hand is going to get much more stronger. So I say Wilder should wait it out, truth be told. You should wait it out. Go do what you got to do with Brazil. Don't let Eddie Hearn come nowhere near it. You know, he still has an issue where he has to infiltrate the U.S. market, and he has still failed to do that successfully. He hasn't done it with Danny Jacobs. He hasn't done it with Big Baby Miller. And he damn sure ain't done it with AJ. So he is not giving these fighters this big U.S. market. The U.S. fan base is not warming up to his fighter. And if he thinks by putting Anthony Joshua and Povetkin on DAZN is going to lure the U.S. market, he out his mind. He out his mind. Most boxing fans in the United States know what's going on. So we ain't going for it. So I don't know who is he trying to reach with this, man. I ain't buying it. That's for damn sure. Until they fight Wilder, I ain't doing nothing. I ain't support that DAZN app one cent. I ain't giving them nothing. You can't do that, man. Don't work like that, Joe. So, you know, this is the new deal, basically, man. And this is something that Wilder has to think about. I'd say he takes them to the cleanest after what all he's been through, offering them $50 million, having people tell him they can't do 8-week camps and all this idiotic, stupid shit. You know what I mean? After all of this is done, like, he deserves it. He should come back to the table and say, man, y'all got to take that 15 to 25 minimally before we even having a conversation. And that's how I'm carrying it this time around. I tried to be diplomatic with you. I try to come in on your terms and do what y'all asked me to do. So at this point, I'm getting something better out of this deal. And it's going to be $25 million. So we'll see, man. So to the next video, Main Man Made Man. Don't forget to subscribe to Twitter, Made Man 511, Facebook, Main Man Boxing Forum, Google Plus, Main Man Made Man. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be talking about this. I can't. It's tough enough for me to get through a video like this to talk about this fight, man. So I don't want to talk much more about this, man. I'm going to move on to other things, and y'all know I've been resisting this topic for a while anyway. This is the outcome of it. We're going to put a nail in the coffin for a little while, move on. I'll probably talk about the AJ Povetkin fight, but don't expect nothing good from me from, you know, saying good things about AJ. I mean, just left a bad taste in my mouth, man. When it comes to AJ and Hearn, seeing those names together right now, I don't know, man. Just make my blood boil, man. Forget them two, man. So to the next video.